You are totally gonna realize why I'm calling this the messiest month in the whole year. It's because of all these good things I watched and also because of how random the choices are. So, hello cinefam and welcome to Messy March, where I'm gonna be sharing everything I watched last month with little reviews about them. So, yeah, the first thing I had to watch was Elizabeth the Golden Age because the last film I watched in Feb was the 1997 prequel, and that was awesome. So, obviously, I had to watch the sequel too. First things first, there was some inexplicably hot sexual tension between Kate, Clive, and Abby, and I think we should be sad that Mr. Kapoor robbed us of a potential threesome sesh. And I'm not kidding, that would have been an excellent choice because 80% of the film's screen time is already devoted to these three. So even if we had a makeout sesh, that would only be helpful to complete the romantic arc. Fine. I know I didn't have to be so sarcastic, but what? Sir Walter Raleigh had a role this important in the Queen's life? My bad, because I read History of English Literature and I didn't find him to be holding a place this significant. Anyways, the film is a beauty. Makeup, hair, costumes, all too surreal. And then next was the fabulous Heath Ledger as a romantic legend on my cards because I watched A Knight's Tale. I'm coming to Heath, but what on earth was Paul Bettany doing in this film naked? He was unexplainably charming and brilliant throughout this as Geoffrey Chaucer. And Heath is not the only lead in this. All his companions stand as heroes with him in my eyes. And that's how well staged and performed this film is. This has such incredible rewatch value, I tell you. And I know it's cheesy and campy and all of it, but it's really, really enjoyable. And I was obsessed with Heath at this point, and I was revising Shakespeare. So, what's wrong in watching a modern retelling of the classic Taming of the Shrew? So I sat for 10 Things I Hate About You, and now I'm a certified fan of Cat Stratford because what a badass queen. This is literally the type of adaptations one should make, not just copy and paste everything you read in a book. Time for just a stupid question. Was Joseph Gordon Levitt looking the age he was playing? To you all? To me, he was not. He was cute, but yeah, you tell me. Well, this is the type of cultural reset we require. And the thing is that I didn't expect so much from a rom com, but what I got is fucking priceless. After this, I thought of watching some old ending films, and my mother chose Virasat. Perfect. Amazing how Tabu can make me do things like they were nothing. This one was really well cast. Amrish Puri, Pooja Batra, Anil Kapoor, everyone was beyond great. Everyone needs to realize Priyadarshan didn't just make Malamal Weekly and Chup Chup Ke. He made pretty serious drama films like this one too. And provided the time this was made in, it has to be considered as a very well made film. It's actually a remake of a Shivaji Ganeshan film, Thevar Magan, and very few people know that the story of Virasat was written by Kamal Hassan. Although the story is highly predictable and mostly taken from Indian mythology, still the outstanding input by every department working on the film has given this outstanding result. Next for me was Shaitaan in theaters. Personally, not that impressed, but yeah, I totally see why audiences loved it. This film is literally dependable on Madhavan and Janki, and both of them have nailed it. There's a scene which turned out really well, and that's the one on one combat between Maddie and Jyotika, and that's too interesting to miss. So, yeah, I talked about this one in my short review. Next thing I watched was Great Expectations, and you all please don't keep great expectations while watching this one. Yep, I'm talking about the one with De Niro, Ethan Hawke, and Gwyneth Paltrow. Not all of it was terrible, but yeah, it's difficult to like. The one thing that I love the most about it is how different it is from the source material by Dickens. Ethan is good, he had to be weird and all, and he is. Gwyneth didn't have much to do. The location is quite interesting. The backwaters of Florida do a great job to maintain the continuity of the plot. And the opening is great, you'll be hooked for sure, but then you're just probably waiting for it to get over with. Next thing I watched was Sense and Sensibility. Emma Thompson, brilliant as ever, both in acting and writing in here. Harriet Walter, everyone, deserves so much love for all her amazing portrayals, because of which I end up hating her every damn time. Hugh Grant was charming, and this was actually a pretty good adaptation. Only catch is that all the actors were too aged to look their parts, except for Kate, who refuses to age at all. Next was a biopic on someone I endlessly love and respect, Sylvia Plath. And I know for a fact that she deserved a better biopic than this one. I mean, they shouldn't have even called this Sylvia because this is totally based on her marital strife and nothing else. There's more to Ted Hughes than her in this one. Gwyneth tries a lot and even shines in a few scenes, but she really is miscast. Daniel Craig is pretty solid on the other hand. Somehow, this does not feel very honest. It's unacceptable to me that she was this hyper jealous person all the time. This is not even the first time. With Frida, also, they did the same thing. Too much Diego. Next thing I watched was something that completely caught me off guard. It's a film based on a play, and the story is on four people. Seriously, I can't explain this. It's horny, cheating mess. But is that interesting? Hell yeah. I liked it because it was so damn slick, it was perfect, and because I loved it so much on 15th, I rewatched it on 16th as well. I also felt that it's unhealthy to like it so much, but sure I did. Also, Jude Law and Clive Owen sexting each other, that's cinema to me. Returning to Bollywood, I searched for indie films and stumbled upon Mere Nimmo, which was really refreshing. It reminded me of the Monica Bellucci film Milena. Let me know in the comments if you have watched that one. This was a pretty enjoyable one. The kid actor Karan Dave was excellent, and yeah, it's an intelligent film which is not afraid to ask questions. A sweet film overall. Then, I finally sat for Fleabag, and it was so damn fine, packaged in these very short 20 something minute episodes. Honestly, I'm speechless. This was so raw, honest, believable, beautiful, and a painfully romantic thing that I've watched in a while. And Andrew Scott, you live in this heart rent free. Phoebe is an exceptionally talented and gifted woman who's channeled her intellect and creative skills so hard in this one that the outcome is literally genius. All the actors are hilarious. The drama is gut wrenching. It's all gorgeous. And yeah, the moment I burst into uncontrollable laughter was when I saw the names of the characters in the subtitles. Bus Rodent, hot misogynist. So, classy woman, classy touch. Next up, I was in search of some more Andrew Scott, so I reached 221 Baker Street, the humble abode of Dr. Watson, Mrs. Hudson, and the consulting detective.
The name's Sherlock Holmes, and the address is 221B Baker Street. Afternoon.
Benedict has surpassed himself with his masterful intellectual portrayal. It's very good, the modern retelling of the most famous detective of the world. Yeah, that's how it should look. Martin Freeman has incredible comic timing, and his on and off banter and bromance with Mr. Cumberbatch is highly admirable. The unreleased pilot and especially Scandal in Belgravia episodes scream perfection. Andrew is sexy, psychotic, and screams insanity in this one. I could only watch 2 seasons in March, the other two I did in April. So I'll talk about it in the next one. Then I went back to Bollywood to watch the newly released Murder Mubarak with a dreamy star cast, only to be left annoyed. It's taken me so much time to believe that Homi Adjani is the same man who gave us Saas Bahu or Flamingo last year, which was in my top 5 web series of the year. It was so fascinating and edgy, and this year he gives us Murder Mubarak, which has topped my list of worst Indian films of 2024. Yeah, nothing to say about it. Next up, I watched 1408, recommended by a friend. Wasn't that good, to be honest. Some parts scared me for good, but was too predictable for me. Next thing I watched was Tim Burton's Alice in Wonderland, which I absolutely loved. Watched it one night before the exam, only to be familiar with the deeper and darker subjects of the Victorian England, so it helped a lot with my answers. The eccentricity sunk in beautifully within me. The performances were so fine by Mia Wasikowska, Johnny Depp, and boy, is there any film where Helena Bonham Carter is not brilliant? I guess we all know the answer. So yeah. The last thing I watched in March was White Sargasso Sea, often termed as the reaction as well as prequel to Jane Eyre. This adaptation was packed as an erotic thriller, but I loved how it established the naked rage of Antoinette, the hypocrisy and vulgarities of a light society man, as well as the strength and vulnerabilities of Christophine, the Obia woman. I felt that it was a good adaptation. So let me know in the comments if you have watched all these literary adaptations, because I have had too many of them. Too many of them. Maybe next month would be more of theaters, but let's see what happens. Till then, don't forget to subscribe because we are too close to 1K. Follow on Twitter. X. Follow on X and Letterboxd, and love you all